Heyo, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the Nonsense Double Feature. My name is Jared.
And I'm Isaac.
How you doing today, sir?
It's going good. Watching movies, talking about movies. It's a great
Absolutely.
time.
I've watched a lot of movies in the past few days. Nothing more than usual, but it's been a lot, for sure.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few in the last
I,
week or so.
last night I finished up the final the final Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes movie, which I think is a 1946 movie, but he had 14 appearances as Sherlock Holmes, and I watched the final one last night, and I loved it.
Damn, we got the deep cuts. I don't think I've seen a single one of
You
those.
you would enjoy them. They're pretty cool, and you know what's pretty awesome about them? They're probably it's probably just very source material based, but it's pretty clear that the Golden Age Batman writers were big Sherlock Holmes fans because it is so Golden Age Batman.
You're selling me.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. But I figured we'd start today by talking about the teaser trailer for the Paul Thomas Anderson flick One Battle After Another. Obviously, you are the resident PTA guy here. I've only seen one Paul Thomas Anderson. There'll be blood. But it is a fantastic movie, of course. And so this trailer looks just wild and wacky. The fast pace has me super into it for sure. And I mean the pregnant woman just blasting an AK-47. I don't even know what to think of that, but it I mean it's awesome. What did you think?
Yeah, so to be clear, we're talking about a teaser for a teaser.
Right.
It is a 21-second clip,
It's very brief, yeah.
just some quick flashes of just some visuals. And right off the bat, you can easily see this is definitely like very in your face, definitely going to be the most action oriented Paul Thomas Anderson film. Just the context surrounding this film has me so excited because he was given such a big budget. I believe it was around 120, $130 million for his budget. And none of his films have ever broken 100 million at the box office. So they're putting a lot of trust in him.
Yeah, this is a wild choice for sure.
I think the two bonuses are either A, this movie makes a lot of money and PTA is given more blank checks, or B, it's just a chance to bankrupt Warner Brothers a little further.
This
So
is just what
it's a win-win.
This and Mickey 17 are combined are just gonna destroy.
Oh man,
and I
Joker
love
2 last year.
Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it.
Joker 2, good movie by the way. Mickey 17, good movie by the way. So maybe we should be giving money to our
Never saw
directors.
Joker 2, haven't seen Mickey 17 yet, but I'll take your word for it.
I liked them both.
Awesome, but back to One Battle.
Yeah,
it definitely. Again, I've only seen one PTA, but from the clips and trailers and the stills of all I've seen of the other films, it definitely looks to be his most thriller action-oriented movie by far.
Yeah, so if I'm correct in saying, I believe it is a adaptation of a Thomas Pynchon novel. I think it's how you say his name. This is his second film to be adapted from one of his novels, where Inherent Vice is, I believe, adapted from a Pynchon novel. And this one's adapted loosely from the novel Vineland, which I have not read, but that's what Wikipedia says. And it's just really interesting that he would take a blank check and just make an action film when he hasn't really done stuff like that before. So it's really interesting to see a director, multiple decades into his career doing something new, but it's still very distinctly Paul Thomas Anderson. And I can't get enough of him. He is one of my faves.
I obviously, I'm saying it now for like the fifth time. I've only seen one of his films, but you don't really even have to have seen many of his films to know what kind of director he is, because he's so involved in Turner Classic Movies and preserving different films. And I know he was when Zaslav took over Warner Brothers, it was him and I think Spielberg who kind of like went with him to make sure that the movies that deserve to be preserved are being preserved. So he's certainly the kind of guy that is maybe at this point in his career is just wants to be more daring. He's daring to be greater. Really at this point.
Yeah, this is him pushing the boundaries of the ones he has already broken in the last couple of decades. This is his chance. He should have probably won some more awards. in 2007 for There Will Be Blood, but that was the year at the Oscars when No Country for Old Men kind of took a lot of the awards. So,
Yeah, right.
apples and oranges, they're both great. But I think the time is right. The time is now for a Paul Thomas Anderson sweep: Best Director, Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Editing, Best Score, Best everything.
The full
I'm
Joker.
placing
The
all my chips on one battle after another.
the full Todd Phillips for Paul Thomas Anderson.
The
isn't that
full
isn't that a
120, 130 million. Let's do it. Let's give him 200 million next time.
isn't that just a crazy thing to say? It's like, oh, the full Todd Phillips, the guy who made The
The full Todd
Hangover.
Phillips. Most famously made The Hangover
Yeah.
and the 2 Joker films. I
Did
can't even think.
did he make
I
the
believe
whole
he
Hangover
did.
trilogy? Let me see if I think he might have did the whole Hangover. But hold on,
I know he did the first one.
Hangover
He
2.
might have
Yeah,
done.
Hangover. Okay, he did Hangover 2. Let's see about Hangover 3.
Yeah,
Hangover 3. Yeah, he did Hangover 3.
he did all 3. He was.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
he is committed to his franchises. We can't knock him.
Yeah, I mean,
He sticks with it.
yeah, you got to give him
He has a vision, and he completes said vision.
Absolutely.
Even if he just completes a vision because his previous film made bank at the box office. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, just crazy money.
once again, I still like Joker too. I think it's good. I think it's really overhated. It's not like amazing, but
Well,
it's good.
I'm glad it's got someone that likes it.
Me.
All right. Well, I think that's enough on the 20-second teaser. Not much else
Yeah.
we can say there.
I mean, I could keep going, but probably shouldn't.
I'm sure you could.
So first up, you just got back from it.
Oh yeah, I just got back from watching Ash, the release by Mr. Flying Lotus, who is mostly known for his musical abilities. I have listened to a decent amount of his music in the past, and it's pretty awesome. He's a pretty vibey DJ kind of guy, and I like his music a lot. So when I saw the synopsis for this movie being like this crazy cosmic horror on an alien planet, I was stupid excited. I mean, you know me, man. You give me either like some aliens or some demons and neon colors and just gore and weird visions. And oh my god, I'm off, bro.
Yeah,
you could
this
just send me
movie was
off.
made for you. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was made for me, dude. It was made for me.
It was truthfully, I actually saw it on Monday at like a slightly, it was like an advanced screening at my theater. So I saw it a couple days early, and as soon as I got out, I was like, yeah, Jared's gonna love this. Like I liked it. Jared's gonna love this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the detractors will say it's got a generic story, and I don't know if it's generic. But it's definitely not like some super reinventing the wheel with the story. But the direction for such a new director was so impressive to me that he has such a hand on film. He understands that medium so well with the editing and the lighting and oh god, and just the mix of really good practical effects with pretty solid for the budget digital effects. I thought was really impressive for such a young director.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of Flying Lotus. So when I saw that the director was Grammy winner, I believe,
Yes.
at least Grammy nominated, and I was like, whoa, a guy who won a Grammy directing a movie? I don't know what I'm in for, but
Mm-hmm.
sign me up. And when I go there, and he not only directed it, he starred in it briefly. He
Yeah.
also did the score for the movie,
Yes.
which was probably the best score of the year so far.
The score is
I was
excellent.
like any sort of negative critiques I have, like I can't knock it too hard because like this is someone coming in extremely confident and just like making what he wanted to make.
Yeah.
Is it derivative? Yes. But is it awesome? Also yes.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
raw.
what's important.
I mean, I love cosmic horror. I love to write cosmic horror, and a lot of my ideas are based around weird unknown species or I have so many ideas that it's just what if some guy found a random hole in the ground, okay? And this
Sounds
movie,
very Color Out of Space.
dude, this movie, you know what this movie has?
A
A
hole in the
a
ground.
random hole in the ground.
A hole in the ground
I
that
was
makes you go insane.
oh my god, and they all went insane. Okay, I know I probably sound like a crazy person right now because I'm every time I remember a certain scene, I go off into this distant area and I forget that I have to keep a logical train of thought here. But it's oh my god, he has a great understanding of horror and fear of the unknown. That is what that is to me what cosmic horror is about. You know, it is just fear of not understanding of all of these things that could be out there, and he nails it with with the whole with the sequence when it's all finally revealed that that she's been infected the whole time, and it shows whatever the fuck kind of species that was, like deep in her brain, and it's like, this is our planet. This is our investment. And you're like, oh my god, this is
That
the
was so
shit.
cool.
Oh god, it's so cool. It's we go back to you. I sound too crazy. Go back.
No, you're
Round for this.
absolutely 100% right. I may not be as like absolutely enthusiastic as you are, but you're very enthusiastic. But like everything you're saying, I 100% agree with. Like, just like everything in its presentation, I feel like is extremely good. And I tried googling the budget, but I couldn't find any like specific answers. But I feel like this was a much lower budget film, so the fact you can pull off like a very well shot, well made, like good sets, like incredible lighting and cinematography, like for like such a low budget, is really impressive. Like, yes, there are times you can like really see where it's stretching its budget thin. Like there's specifically a shot where our main character is like running on the surface of this planet, and she's very clearly just running in place
Yes.
in
Right.
front of a green screen. But it's like those kind of shots are few and far between, and there's a lot of like very charming ways where I feel like, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but it looked like maybe the ship in certain shots was at least practical, and so they kind of like, you could like tell, at least I think, I could be totally off, but like it was more charming in that sense where it's like,
Mhm.
yes, it's low budget, but like it still looks good. And like where it may not look as good as like, say, I don't know, Interstellar, like
Right. Of course.
it still looks really good.
Yeah. I mean, Interstellar is Nolan just
It's
go.
Interstellar.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I guess you could say like it really succeeded by having very confident art direction. Like if you have
Yes.
really good art direction, you can make up for like some wonky like VFX and stuff.
Yeah, and that one of the cool things that it lines up with him as a musician as well. His music is very confident in that sense too. He goes off into very weird, trippy places, but he always you can tell he always knows what he's doing. But while watching this film, I kept thinking about Panos Cosmatos, who directed Mandy and uh, God, the movie I think it's called is it Through the Black Rainbow? I think that film is
That
called.
sounds right.
Yeah, those I love Mandy. That's one of my favorite films ever. I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan, obviously, but Mandy is just I could talk about that movie forever. Um, and I love his work. He also did an episode of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities that I loved.
Mm,
Um, and his work is stunning. It's very trippy, very colorful, and this movie felt like this movie felt like Panos Cosmatos directed Prometheus, and
yeah.
it like these coming to a planet and finding these technologically advanced aliens was awesome. And then you mix it with kind of this, I don't want to say Lynchian is probably overselling it because it's a bit,
Probably a little bit strong.
yeah, it's a bit generic, but I do like the style of it kind of only tells you a little bit, shows you a little bit more, and leaves a lot up to you for in terms of what is going on.
Yeah.
And for me, that is the perfect time at the movies, man. It is. I think on top of that, it's a 95-minute movie. You're in and out, and that's what's all about for me. Plain and simple. That is what it's all about.
Yeah. It definitely does not overstay its welcome.
Nope.
And like, there's always something happening. Like there's never like a
Yes.
lull. Like everything, it's either advancing the plot, it's advancing some character work, or it is showing you like the coolest thing you've ever seen. And
Exactly.
that is always good. I definitely agree with you in the sense that like I would say it more wears its inspiration on its sleeve more so than it being, I guess, derivative. But like I definitely got Prometheus vibes. I got some Resident Evil vibes. Um, I haven't played Dead Space, but a lot of people have been saying Dead Space vibes,
Mm.
which, horror space.
Of course.
Um, so like it's kind of like a mishmash of like a lot of things, but not to the point where it feels like totally unoriginal. Like it still feels original. It's just you may have like tasted these flavors before in a
Right.
sense.
Right. Story wise, at least.
Especially story wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Visuals, there's not much like it.
I quickly too. I thought the spacesuits, those astronaut uniforms, were so awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, they were very like insectoid.
Yeah, I don't know what on earth the point of those little like galaxy nebula sphere looking like things they had on the back. Maybe those kind of like generated some kind of like power because it did kind of look like that they were stronger when they wore those. Um,
Yeah.
but and then I think on the back, if you through that glass in the back, it kind of looked like there was like a spine type structure.
It was like on their arms and shoulders and all these wires. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, very
like I said,
cool.
like the set design, like they had like a very small set and like makes things feel claustrophobic a
Yeah.
lot. And like the design of the planet, the design of the suits, like the art
Oh
direction and
yeah.
like set design, costume design was all very intentional and on point and very it was very interesting.
You mentioned the planet. I loved all the shots of just the geography and
Oh
all
yeah.
the landscapes and the shot of her looking up into the sky and seeing that
Mm.
weird formation going. And right when I saw that shot through my head, I was just like, man, I want to. I hope we see the alien causing that crap. Like, what the hell is that? like, this is just so cool, man. Like, it's a feast. Oh God. Alrighty, well, I figure it's time to go on to our next movie, which would be the Safdie Brothers cult classic at this point, and not just cult classic. I mean, it was very celebrated when it came out as well, but that would be the 2019 crime thriller Uncut Gems. And I know you, Sir Isaac, are very, very enthusiastic about this film. I watched it for the first time. I think it was 2 nights ago now, and a
Mhm.
long time coming. I mean, it's been a blind spot for me for a long time. I know you're probably thinking why have you taken so long? Well, I just haven't watched it, but I finally did, and I mean it was awesome. But like I mentioned, you're probably a bit more enthusiastic about it than I am. So why don't you take it away, sir?
Yeah, so I watched this film for the first time last year, and it was so good. I watched it less than a week later again. Instantly after the first time I watched it, I was like, well, I need the Criterion of this. So I got the Criterion Blu-ray of it because, yeah, I didn't get the 4K. I probably should have got the 4K, but it is what it is.
What can you do?
Yeah. So I watched it again the same night you did, like the exact same time, ironically, just to like freshen up because it had been a few months since I watched it. And I don't know what it was, but it felt like I was watching it for the first time again. It was like that magical moment where I'm like, it's not that I like missed things. I just feel like I like got so many more little details I may not have gotten the first couple times, and it like just made it feel so fresh again. And it is still probably the most stressful movie ever made.
It's a yeah,
It's
yeah. It
stressful.
it uses chaos in a really good way.
I think what's so good about it and why it's so stressful is like there's so much of just the way people talk and the way they interact with each other where like every single scene, there are people repeating things over and over again because they think they're not being heard, but they are being heard,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
people are talking over each other, or they're screaming at each other, or like there's like issues going on. Like there's a scene where they can't get the door open to the gem shop, so
Oh
they're
my
trying to get the
God.
door open, and they keep being like, "Open the door, open the door." And he's like, "Hey, I'm trying, I'm fixing it." And they're like, "Open the door, open the door." He's like, I'm trying to fix it." And they're like, "Oh, we got to get like metal shavings and like shove like a knife in there to like get the magnet to trigger." And then you got the buzzer, so they're continually buzzing the door open. So there's like a buzzing sound, it's buzz, 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 and they're all screaming at each other, and it's like you can't breathe
Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
and it is insane.
something I picked up on like three-quarters of the way through the movie that the Safdies do so well is the movie in the opening act is just splitting off in so many directions. Like this man owes money and jewelry and things to so many different people at different times that you also forget along with Howard all the people
Hmm.
that he owes things to. And it's like right as he's about to like pay someone it back, you remember it's like, oh wait, he has that other guy that he gave this random ring to, and like he owes this guy 40 grand, and it's like it it uses the chaos so perfectly where it intentionally wants you to forget a lot of the subplots and then just remember them at the last moment the exact way Howard does.
Hmm.
It puts you in his paranoid headspace so well.
They truly, like, for a film this chaotic, like, to make something this chaotic, ironically, you have to be, like, super organized in a lot of ways. Like, it's like such like a tight wire act to make something this, like, just like flailing and chaotic and stressful.
Yeah,
And like there's so many pieces that were very organized. But I feel like something that maybe added to the success is there were like a lot of happy accidents along the
right.
way. Like for example, like the entire plot of the film revolves around Howard, played by Adam Sandler, betting on a very specific basketball game. So the Safdies had this script and they needed to build the script around a specific player and therefore a specific basketball game so he could be betting on those very specific things. They needed like a very like they needed someone who had like a very flashy basketball game in a lot of ways, like one that would like be very good for your stats.
Yeah, of
Like, yeah,
course.
you could win a game boringly or you could lose a game fantastically. But luckily, they found a guy who won a game fantastically and also turns out to be kind of a good actor in Kevin Garnett. So they had spent a long time figuring out how they were going to make this movie. So kind of they just like happy accident found Kevin Garnett, who they built the film around, and that's what I feel like makes it extra stressful because like it's a real guy. And with a lot of people screaming at each other, adding to the chaos, there was like a lot of ad libbing, which I feel like probably helped Kevin Garnett because he's not like a classically trained actor. He's a basketball player.
Yeah,
So the fact that the Safdies were able to pull out a performance like that just shows like they knew what they were doing,
yeah.
is
No,
what I'm saying.
Garnett is great, and I read that a decent amount of the movie is somewhat improvised. Like there's like there obviously there is a script, but a lot of the dialogue they're just kind of encouraged to throw more stuff in. And I would imagine for as directors, it's a real tight wire act for them. And while at the same
Hmm.
time the actors are kind of going off into these weird places, it must be a very strange dynamic on set, and it adds to the chaos of the movie. And it's like you said, it is like the most chaotic, stressful movie ever. You know?
Like, yeah, that's the thing about the movie is like I feel like on set it was probably very controlled chaos, but the film itself is like it's I believe 2 hours and 15 minutes, maybe 2 hours and 16, and from like the opening scene, like once you get through the title card, from that moment on to basically the last like until the credits roll, you basically cannot exhale. Like
Yeah,
you are like like my chest hurts, my heart is racing, I get sweaty watching this film. Like it affects me so physically in a lot of ways, and not a lot of not a lot of other movies affect me so physically as Uncut Gems has and continues to do. And oh, it's so good.
no, it's an awesome movie. I've never seen Julia Fox act before. I've only known her from dating Kanye West and the
She
clip.
dated Kanye West.
Yeah, you, you could
This
look
is
up
I'm learning
you could
this right
look up the
now.
pictures of that. I remember. I think when they broke up, she claimed it was like because like he bought her stuff. but um, I know her from dating Kanye West and from that podcast clip where she was like uncut gems. But aside, aside from that, I had never seen her act, and she's awesome. Like she's so
Yeah,
good in this
yeah,
movie.
she's like really confident.
Her and Adam Sandler work so well together, and it's fun. I mean, obviously, me and you are both part of the generation that watched Adam Sandler just be this goofy comedian, who like
Mhm.
makes tons of money at the box office just saying "Sawi" over and over again, like a child. But like, it's so cool that he had a performance like Uncut Gems in him, you know, where he
Yeah,
just
like
pulled really deep down and got this really scummy, disgusting character that was so believable. It's like a really perverted version of himself. It works out so well.
it truly doesn't even feel like him because like he's like got like a kind of an accent going and like he's got like like glasses and like he like looks like extra greasy like it like doesn't like even look like Adam Sandler at a
Yeah,
certain point. So it's like he like just totally just dives into this and he's going god mode from like scene 1 to the final shot. Like it is truly like kind of a masterclass. And um I don't remember who said it or if anybody in particular said it, but the idea that um, a lot of comedy actors are secretly really good at dramatic acting because comedy acting is like so difficult for a lot of people because you have to be able to like keep a straight face and
right,
not laugh. So
right,
when you're given something where you just have to keep a straight face anyways, like
right,
they're already really good at that. But this feels like something totally different
right.
from that because he is just like he's truly, he's unhinged.
Yeah, absolutely. He
Like,
does it.
we meet him in his asshole. Like, the first shot we see of him is literally the camera coming out of his butt from a
crazy,
colonoscopy.
crazy way to open a movie, man. We're just in someone's asshole. Like the Safdies were just like,
Oh,
fuck it.
I don't know what they were thinking. And, like, um especially, like, at the very opening and the very end, but also throughout the entire film, the score. The score by Daniel, I think it's Lopatin. Oh my god, it's, like, very vibey techno synth,
Yeah,
but it also gets like crazy stressful and there's like it's I honestly don't know how to describe it. It's very like cerebral in a lot of like moments and for a film that's like very like, you're like present in the moment, stressed out and then the music's like oddly cerebral is very funny. And this is, I believe, compounded by the fact that just like midway through the movie, The Weeknd shows up as himself, and
yeah,
then Adam Sandler just attacks him.
yeah,
Like that whole scene is hilarious.
yeah. I really love how they committed to the shitty, over the top lighting of jewelry stores.
Oh
Like
my
the way
god!
his store is lit is like just, oh my god, it's a nightmare. But
Like
that's the way every New York jewelry store is lit. It's awful.
it's like those like fluorescent lights, and I don't like. There's never a moment where you can hear it, but visually you can just hear the buzzing
Yeah,
of those fluorescent lights
yeah,
being so
exactly.
bright and so powerful over there, and like the neon like light strips around, like and the thing about the jewelry store where they filmed for Howard's jewelry store is this is another happy accident they had at the very end of the movie
Right.
when it pans up and you can see Howard on the floor through the reflection of the mirrors on the ceiling because they don't show it, I don't believe, ever until the very end. But the entire ceiling is just a bunch of mirrors. And so you have this moment where like he's on the ground and it pans up. And this is like the only time Howard or like us as an audience would have any sort of moment where maybe like we're getting some introspection because Howard never looks at himself as the problem.
Yeah.
He will like lie and cheat and pawn your stuff off and he'll never realize that he's the one causing like every single one of his problems. So at the end it literally takes him getting a bullet to the face to have any moment of introspection where he looks into a mirror and it feels like that's what the entire film has been leading to. And I had found out like after the second time I watched this movie that was an accident. That was not planned at all. They just happened to find a jewelry store like that and they're like, hey, you know what would be cool? Mirror. And yeah, that like
It's a great shot.
something that can be so accidental being like the crux of the film, at least for me, is something I just love about filmmaking. Like you can have stuff that's like super, super planned out and it'd be amazing, and you can just like go record whatever and make something masterful.
Yeah.
And It's what's so awesome about the medium.
That's an incredible shot at the end there. I I think a lot about that moment right there, and that the way that gangster just shoots him in the face and it just ends, so quickly.
Yeah.
It's so sudden, and you think about it, and I it, you kind of can feel it coming from the minute that he points the gun at him from between the bulletproof glass.
Mhm.
Like you can tell that like the second he took that gun out, he wasn't going to tolerate sitting in that room, even if Howard won $1 billion. Like he was going to walk out there and shoot him in the face, no matter
Yeah,
what.
he made him sit in that, like, little box
Yeah,
for the entirety of a basketball game as Howard is being loud and obnoxious and just, like, flamboyant even of just, like, him celebrating as everything goes his way, and, he's like a guy who's, like, he's not chasing a win, he's chasing the high of the risk that
yeah,
he's putting up. He's putting up so much of his money. He literally had the money to pay these guys back and get them off his
yeah,
back.
yeah.
He literally had that ability. He's like, "No, I'm gonna go lean out the window, go to the window next door, and hand over this duffel bag of cash to Julia Fox, and she's gonna go make a series of high stakes bets, all on Kevin Garnett at this Celtics game, which was the game they based the film around." And so he had like, a crazy game. And he's like celebrating and cheering. And he's like, as he's cheering and letting them in as the game ends, he's won all of his money. He has that like huge high, like the risk paid off. He's like essentially high on himself for the entirety of the game because it's going so well the whole time. He lets him in and he's still like laughing to himself and like cheering to himself. And he's still smiling when the
Yep,
bullet enters his face.
yep.
And as he falls down and it pans up to the
Still
the mirrored
smiling.
ceiling, like, he's still smiling, and that's, like it took literally a bullet to the face for the audience to finally get a chance to exhale, and what I find so interesting about the ending is he gets shot in the face, and then they're, like, looting the store, and then they shoot, is it his cousin or his brother-in-law? I'm, like, having a
I think it was
blank.
brother-in-law.
Yeah, his brother-in-law.
Arno.
Yeah, Arno. So they shoot Arno, but you've already exhaled so hard that by the time they shoot Arno, you're like, "Oh, Arno's dead too,"
Yeah.
which is, like, such, like, a weird energy. We're like, "Oh, he's dead." At least for me. I don't know about anybody else, but, like,
I
for me, it
I
was like, you just finally have that moment to relax, and it literally took murder.
I appreciated the very clear foreshadowing that Phil was gonna kill Arno, or at least
Oh,
like
yeah.
go against him. That earlier in the van, he's like yelling at him just
Mhm.
excessively, and Arno has like no respect for himself in that moment. Um, but
Yeah.
what you mentioned about how he's someone who doesn't chase the win, he chases like the risk. You should check out I know you've wanted to see it for a minute. The 1974 film by Carl Rice, or it might be his last name might be pronounced Reese. I apologize, but Carl Rice, the 1974 film The Gambler, which
Mhm.
stars James Caan, is a
The best.
very similar film, and I mean that film goes over I forget whose philosophy it was, but there's an ancient philosopher who really surmised that risk and kind of making your own logic and willing your belief is kind of what gambling is all about, and how really the risk is what's fun and not the victory. And I won't spoil the ending of The Gambler, but The Gambler has a very different ending than Uncut Gems, while being a very similar movie, and it is awesome. So if you, I know you liked Uncut Gems. To anyone listening, if you love Uncut Gems, check out The Gambler by Carl
I'm
Rice
actually,
and James
I'm looking
Caan.
at the Letterbox page right now, and 2 of the 3 top reviews, one of them says, "Uncut James." That's the whole review, and the other one says, "What if Uncut Gems, but less funny and more existentialist?"
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So, I mean, sure.
Yeah, it's a much you can exhale throughout The Gambler. It's a much more reflective
Ah,
movie. It's great. I love The Gambler.
yeah, it's been on my watch list for a while just because I like James Caan, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like the concept of it. So,
Real quick, I think James Caan was the coolest guy to ever do it. Between The Gambler and Thief and The
the
Godfather, I mean,
thief.
oh,
Oh my god.
just the man, just the man. Okay, but we're talking about Uncut Gems. But anyway, um, Uncut Gems rocked. I loved it. Between
Uncut Gems rocks.
Adam Sandler, Julia Fox, Lakeith Stanfield, Kevin Garnett coming in doing some crazy stuff. Frickin' Mike Francesa's annoying ass with his like 2 or 3 scenes. Great stuff.
Oh, the famous Adele Dazeem,
Oh.
otherwise known as Idina Menzel. Remember that? Remember that? What was it? Was that the Tony Awards? It
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
John Travolta who's like, "And the wickedly talented Adele Dazeem." I can never it always makes me forget her real name because that's all I can think of. But Idina Menzel's really good in this. Judd Hirsch shows up for, like, a scene, which is kind of
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, Judd. I think his
I had
name is
mentioned The Weeknd's in
I
it,
think his name is
like
Gooey.
what was it? It was,
Dope
yeah, it
name.
was Gooey. They called
Gooey.
him Gooey.
Yeah, dope name.
Got Adam Sandler in his, like, New York accent calling Judd Hirsch Gooey. I'm like, "Don't call him that. Put some respect on Judd Hirsch's name, man. This guy's a legend."
All right, so to close it out here, my man Isaac thought it would be a good idea to go some more Safdie related stuff, where we quickly mention the 2 upcoming Safdie brother films that are, although they are separate as they have split for the first time for these 2 efforts. There will be the by Benny Safdie, the 2025, hopefully 2025 release, The Smashing Machine, which is going to star Dwayne the Rock Johnson. It's about the MMA fighter Mark Kerr. And then the also hopefully 2025 release by Joshua Safdie called Marty Supreme, which is going to star Timothy Chalamet. And I actually don't know much about it's about the tennis player Marty Reisman, but I don't know much about it beyond that.
Oh, boy, wait till I tell you this. It's not actually about tennis, it's about table tennis.
Oh,
It's
okay.
loosely based on the life of I believe, professional, ping pong player, or he may have been a professional tennis player, maybe that's what you're thinking of, but I'm pretty sure he was a professional ping pong player,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and,
I'm reading it now. Yeah, you're right. Table tennis player.
yeah, it's very loosely based on his life, and it's being described as, like, very, like, Wolf of Wall Street, very, like,
Mm,
globe-trotting insanity, just, like, balls to the walls, over the top, and it's got, as you said, Timothy Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow's gonna be in it,
yeah.
um, and, the actual description says, "Marty Mauser, a young man with a dream no one respects," ping pong, "goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness," and that just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and not to mention, it has some insane casting beyond Timothy Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm about to say 3 names that each one is gonna be more unbelievable than the last.
All right.
Penn from Penn and Teller is gonna be in it, the magician.
Penn Jillette's gonna be in this movie.
It says so.
That okay.
Tyler, the Creator,
All right, I'm in.
and Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank.
That's bizarre.
That is truly an insane cast.
Isn't I kind of isn't Fran Drescher supposed to be in that movie too?
She is.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice too. I know she's mostly does a lot of SAG stuff these days. I know she's high up in SAG. I think Marty Supreme was also the one that Gwyneth Paltrow mentioned that her and Timothy Chalamet have a quote a lot of sex. So I think you and I spoke about it earlier. The age gap discourse on that one is going to be just brutality. I'm sure.
Yeah, because let me think. Timothy Chalamet is like what? He's 29,
29, I think. Yeah.
and Gwyneth Paltrow is like
52.
oh, do you have that off the top of your head? Yeah, 52. So
I'm looking not off the top of my head. I'm looking
you're
at it. I'm
literally
looking.
looking.
I do not. I don't have Gwyneth Paltrow's age off the top of my head. All right.
You never know. Maybe you're a really big Goop fan.
I mean, maybe. I love those candles.
In terms of 2025 Safdie films, which one do you think is going to be better?
Well, um, Marty Supreme does sound very cool. The cast does sound very awesome, and a fictional biopic about a table tennis player. I mean, that could just be beyond hilarious and beyond cool. But gonna have to go with the Smashing Machine for the pure fact that I kind of like MMA. I know about Mark Kerr. Mark Kerr had a crazy story. He's still alive. Has a crazy story. He was an absolute beast in the ring as an MMA fighter, and it all fell apart with because of one weird fight in Japan. And then on top of that, the I am so intrigued by The Rock actually giving a performance that sounds interesting, working with Benny Safdie, also with him being cast in a Scorsese film recently. I feel like it's possible that Scorsese saw some of the Smashing Machine already and maybe casted him based off of that. Who knows? Maybe I'm entirely just guessing there, but I'm excited for the Smashing Machine, so I'm gonna go with the Smashing Machine.
And ever since day one of knowing that both these films were coming supposedly this year, I've been on Team Marty Supreme simply because I'm a massive Timothy Chalamet fan. But
Mm-hmm.
more importantly, Benny Safdie already gets like acting roles and stuff. So I'd love to see Josh Safdie get a little more attention in that because Benny Safdie, he's in movies. He's in most recently, I believe, was Oppenheimer,
Yep.
which quite a few people saw Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. And
Um,
he's been
yeah,
cast in the Odyssey as well.
he has been cast to the Odyssey. I believe I think they. Oh, who is he playing? He's playing some guy who gets murdered.
That's how the
Uh,
Odyssey
uh,
usually goes. But yeah.
that's how the Odyssey usually goes. Yeah, it's
Yep.
like Benny Safdie was like very good in his small role in Oppenheimer. He was really good in Licorice Pizza. He was in his own movie Good Time, and now he's gonna be in, you know, the Odyssey. So
Oh, he is
he
Agamemnon in the Odyssey.
that's who it is. He's
Yes.
Agamemnon. So, he gets enough of the spotlight. It's Josh's turn.
All right, all right. I respect it.
Also, it'd be really funny if like one of these films is really well directed and one of them isn't, and we can realize Safdie Brothers is actually better than the other.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would create a lot of conversations for sure.
Or if they both suck, it's like, well, maybe they do got to work
Yeah,
together.
they got to work together. Yeah, absolutely.
Ideally, they'd both be great because they both
Yeah,
sound really good.
that's what
But
you hope for. Because I mean, I'd rather have
it would be funny.
two really good films than just one. So
This is true.
absolutely, absolutely. All right. You got anything else to say, my guy?
Everybody should watch Ad Astra.
Okay. I respect that. Ad Astra's a great one. That's a bit random, but I love Ad Astra. I mean, it's a real pretty movie. Gorgeous,
You said if I
actually.
had anything,
Yeah.
that's anything.
That's one of the few movies where I think the random, out of nowhere narration actually works, and I like it.
It grew on me. I've seen it a few times now, and it works.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about watching more Jason Statham movies. So there's that.
Oh, glorious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can wrap it up there. But I enjoyed it. Enjoyed this very much, sir.
Yeah, Perfecto Mundo with some very good films this time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back soon with another episode, and we'll get back to you guys next time. Adios.
See ya.